All right, the Reds, it's Brian Gallagher here from Edmonton Cop Talk, here to discuss our game against Leicester City tomorrow, 8 a.m. here in Edmonton, Canada, and 3 p.m. over in Liverpool, Merseyside. Yeah, really looking forward to tomorrow's game. Brendan Rodgers' return to Liverpool, his return to L4. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough game. They're playing very well. They're third in the league. He has them playing very good. He's got some really great players, and he plays that attacking game that he played very similar to ours in 2014. He plays to Vardy's strengths the same way as he played to Suarez's strengths when he was our manager. Yeah, I just can't wait. I think it'll be a great game. I think they'll play the way I was going to say they'll play into our hands, but they won't. They're decent, but it'll suit us the way they'll play. It could be a very open game. We'll need to be watching Vardy hard, but yeah, I think they will score, Leicester. I think they'll score, but I think Liverpool will ultimately score more to win the game. Um, I think he'll clearly Klopp. He'll clearly go strong. He won't rest any players. Allison is back in full training, so which means he's fit. He could play tomorrow, but I think he will stick with Adrian. Adrian in goal, Van Dijk, Matip, Robertson, and Trent as the back four, with Fabinho as the holding midfield player. He'll have Henderson, Wijnaldum. Yeah, Henderson and Wijnaldum make up the other two in midfield, and then the three up front: Salah, Mane, and Firmino. That's what I think he'll do. He could maybe give Wijnaldum a rest and bring in Milner, bring in Oxlade Chamberlain. Potentially, he could give Henderson a rest and bring in Oxlade Chamberlain, or Milner. Henderson he wasn't great the other night, but I think he will play. He's the captain of the football club, and I expect him to play. Yeah, as I said, it's going to be great, and yeah, I can't wait. I think everyone's looking forward to it. There's a lot of stuff in the media about Brendan Rodgers' return and his time at Liverpool. I just read an article in the Independent that was very interesting about him. I'll just talk a little bit on Brendan Rodgers now. My take on him. I liked him. I thought he done good. I thought Liverpool at the time were in a low position. You know, when Houllier left, we could go out and get one of the top managers in Europe like Rafael Benitez. We could do that. And when Rodgers left, we were lucky we could get Klopp because he just left Dortmund. That's another conversation. But when they decided that they were going to sack Kenny Dalglish and bring in another manager, my honest opinion is they wanted Klopp at the time, but Klopp had just won the Bundesliga with Dortmund. He's not going to leave um, the champions of the Bundesliga to come to the seventh place team in the Premier League, and his project wasn't over in Dortmund. It was still had a good while to run, and we were left with who else do you go for, and then they whittled it down between Rodgers and Martinez, who was at Wigan at the time. Very similar managers. Either or, I don't think would have, I think Martinez had to come in, would have been very similar to Rodgers' tenure. I think he's actually a very good manager. I think, Martinez, I think Everton were wrong to get rid of him. And he's done very well with Belgium, but that's a whole other story that I'm not going to get into. Rodgers' first season, he was he done okay. Got off to a bad start. We had a very hard start. We had a lot of big teams early doors, and we weren't doing good. We didn't have the squad. He made a lot of mistakes. He is a little bit arrogant, and he'll feed. I felt he fed his ego a little bit, with Pepe Reina being the big one. His first season at Liverpool, Rodgers' first season, Reina didn't play well. No, he didn't play horrendously bad, but he didn't play great, and his attitude was wrong. So I will say that. but Rodgers basically sent him out on loan to Napoli and brought in Simon Mignolet. That says enough. That was a big mistake, and it was just Rodgers feeding his ego a little bit there. Huge mistake. Then we have that second season where we nearly win the league. But if he'd kept Pepe Reina, we would have won the league. Instead, he brought in Mignolet, who's he didn't suit the style of play that Rodgers played anyway. So I really don't know why he bought him. He was a play out from the back manager, similar to Klopp. So he wanted a sweeper keeper, right? So I know why he's buying Simon Mignolet, who was terrible with his distribution and with the ball at his feet, was just awful. That was a big mistake that basically cost us the league. And then it all imploded then the following season, and he bought Mario Balotelli, and there was stuff behind the scenes too. It wasn't all Brendan Rodgers' fault. Whatever was with the transfer committee, and he didn't get on with the guys in Boston either. And I shouldn't really be saying this, but his final season at Liverpool, he's going through a divorce, so it's hard to manage one of the biggest football clubs in the world when you're going through a divorce. But that divorce was caused by him having an affair with a female worker at the club. And that didn't go down with the Boston owners, who are staunch Catholics, and they kept it low enough. And I shouldn't really be mentioning that, but I've said it now, so fuck it. But his tactics were very good. He tried to play great football. By all accounts, his training sessions are very good. Far from the worst manager we've ever had. We've had Roy Hodgson, we've had Souness. He's a better manager than them two lads, and he tried his best. He's also very young when he came into Liverpool. Don't know if I mentioned that earlier. 39 and 42, 43 when he left. Very young to be managing one of the top clubs. Didn't have the experience, and that was ultimately it. A couple other little things, but we wish him the best. And he done well at Celtic. It's a pretty easy league, I know, and he's at Leicester now, and he's flying with Leicester. He isn't flying. I think he has said it himself. He's learned from his experiences, and he's definitely a better manager now. And also, I will say that Being Liverpool documentary, I know it sounds a bit stupid, but that did him no favours at all. Klopp has said he would never allow a documentary into the dressing room, when he's giving team talks. Yeah, it made him, put him out in a bad light, and he didn't even want them there. So it wasn't all his fault. It is what it is. We've got a great manager now, and that's it. So we move on, and hopefully we'll win tomorrow. I think it'll be 3-1 to the Reds. It'll be great. And then it's the international break. Boring international break. I want to do a few videos during the international break, just to keep everyone entertained here. And then it's United at the end of the international break at Old Trafford. So I'll discuss that. I'm not going to get into that now. I'll do a video on that, previewing the game. And that's really all I've got to say. I'm going to do a video during the international break of my first trip to Anfield back in 1995, and that's one thing I'm thinking of doing. So listen, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. As I said, I only do it for a bit of fun, shits and giggles. It's not to make any money. I only do it because I love the Reds and want to have my own Liverpool YouTube channel, which is boss. Really enjoying making the content, and from overseas here in Canada, giving a perspective of what it's like following the Reds from far afield. Okay guys, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Up the fucking Reds. You'll never walk alone.